Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am GM Minh Le here. I'm very sorry for I think 2 weeks I have not been able to upload anything to my YouTube channel. Not only was busy, but also I couldn't have the time to play speedrun game. But okay, so now after some times here, I have the time available, and we return to the speedrun stuff, right? So let's go here. As you can see now, I am 11-16 in rapid. I will slowly improve my rating, and hopefully you guys will find the game harder and also more instructive. You know what I mean? Hope you enjoy the games and hope you will give me some feedbacks so that I can improve the session or I can make the video more quality. The way here is that I will again play 10 minutes game, no increment. I will explain the thinking process when I'm playing, and I will ask you guys questions later on when I get finished. So, no need to let you guys stop and wait. Let's start. Let's start. We met a Philippines 1032. He played e4. I think I play Caro-Kann, I play Sicilian in my channel already. I guess I will play Sicilian again. No, okay, let's play this time. Let's play e5. I want to try to change things a little bit this time and go for a different opening idea. I guess the way to do and the way to make it instructive probably is to play various things and to teach you guys, like, you know, different opening setups. Let's play here. Nice. Should be 5. So he played the main line Ruy Lopez. Obviously, as you know, the main line is always a6. But before that, I want to let you know the ideas here. Why play this? Not only just a bishop development, he may want to play here and taking on a5 later on. The way to play is a6. He may take here or he may bishop a4. Both are playable. Bishop a4, we play. So we got a Ruy Lopez variation here. So I don't know. In fact, I do have. I mean, I can teach you my line here. I will bishop c5 myself. This is what I play myself, you know. But that will be not easy to play. So I guess that I will just play the main variation, the open Ruy Lopez. Attacking pawn e4. This is the open Sicily, open Ruy Lopez. Play knight c3, which is somewhat a rarer way to play. The main things like castles I mentioned later on, knight c3 is definitely playable. But I'm pretty sure you will see this thing happen in my speedrun again, so you can learn more, you know. Okay, so here black can play plenty of stuff. I'm thinking about the way to play that you guys can learn the most here. I guess I will just play, I think, this move. b5. Kick the bishop away first. If I play bishop c5, I mean, this is also fine, but I want to play b5 first. Castles. I can castles too, but I will play here first. d6. Defend the pawn here, open the bishop, and black seem to get a good pieces setup. a4, I get b4 bit, it's available. H1. This move is a bit too passive, although it is super understandable, right? He wants to avoid a pin. But for me, this one is too passive, and in fact, it is a wrong move. Here, the thing is that I can castles, right? But instead, I believe I can try to put pressure on him right away with the move that people at your level, at most level, will like, right? Before putting pressure on him instantly. h3, I retreat. still keep the pressure on this diagonal. You can see here, he may not be able to castle easily, right? I mean, no, I mean he castle already. What I'm checking though, like he would not be able to develop easily without weakening the pin, right? Knight d4 can be a thing next, so it's not easy for him. He played knight e2, knight e2. He blocked the pin. Here I can definitely go for this move, weakening the structures and make his king become weak. But I don't know, for me here, so I think this is a big mistake. I can just simply play knight e4. Win a pawn on e4. Well, this one can be a very instructive game, guys. I blundered. I want to make a speedrun that people can learn, but I must say that I blundered. Okay, I guess we may learn how to pseudo the game, you know. Oh my goodness. I guess I must be more careful next time. I'm not sure this can be a nice trick though. Obviously, for his level, so he may miss this move. But here, the thing is that he got this bishop d5 move, you know. And I will lose big material. I guess I may play like knight here. I guess so. I don't know. I may play here or knight 2. But in both cases, I will be down material. Let's bishop d5, knight 2, take here, and he is up a piece. I may have 2 pawns and bishop pair to compensate for the piece, but that doesn't look good. d3 here play. So now, I mean, I can play various things, but I will just go for this one. I don't know why. I don't see what's wrong with this. Go for an exchange, and we are up so much material. Well, somehow it feels like, I mean, wrong execution, but correct result. Oh my goodness. That pawn was poison. I must say that was actually poison. Here, so I should play, I mean at this point, I should play bishop f3. And weaken his king side right away, you know. I went for the pawn, which I think, okay, nothing wrong with this, but right after that, I realized that it was actually a poison pawn. So yeah, even instructive for me, isn't it? That's how things is. Even instructive for my level as well. Bishop d5, queen d7, you know, and I can defend the knight on c6 here easily. Knight g5. He run the knight away. And I don't know, this may be his threat, but I got this one covered, right? So now, after all, time for castles. When you don't see any real threats, and when you don't have any other ideas, castling is the right moment. g4, retreats. In fact, he may be able to play g4 for a long time ago. But the main problem is that, as you can see here, this weakened his king side considerably, right? So now I can play here. I am really thinking about playing this move here, which is like a natural running away. Let's do it. I can play as well too. Attack the knight on g5 and force him to run to f3, but I guess that is not it at all. But okay, let's take h4, which I think will be more instructive. This one is natural, but this thing here is a very I think a really good move, that it kicked the attacking knight here away, and it somehow allow me to have a tempo with my bishop retreats. You know what I mean? Knight e4. So now I'm up on exchange and a pawn. No, actually 2 pawns. The way here is find a way to convert. For me, the best way to convert here is to attack his exposed king right away. I can definitely trade here. You know, knight e4 can be a good trade. This one is fine as well. But for me, so you always have 2 ways of converting, right? 3 pieces and go for the attack. But here I think his king looks kind of weakening, so I will be ready for that by king h8. My king h8. Now f5 is my idea. When I can be able to play f5, open up the f5 for my rook, and weaken his king as well. You understand? If you find it hard to follow, or if you find that I am talking so fast, just tell me so that I can try to adjust the speed and the audio. d5, okay, good move. Finally I play it. If he played this move earlier, he will be in good shape. But now, it's not doing much. Queen d7, defend the knight. I can give back the material too, which is very fine, but I don't need to do so. I can just play queen here and go for f5 and try to open up. Why did you play a passive king move? I'm here, so I want to prepare for f5. So I want to run the king away from the pin. It is not totally passive though. f5 now is also fine, it's also fine. But I want to be instructive, and I want to tell you that before you trying to execute anything, you need to fully prepare for it, you know? Like, in fact, f5 here works earlier when you attack the knight as well. But, you know, in other situations, it may not work, you know? That's why I want to teach you a lesson that you need to be fully ready before any kind of attack. You know what I mean? So here, for instance, I can just take with the rook here and go here right away. Also, queen here is the move that it allows my rook to be connected in the back range, right? Take here, f5, and then after rook here next as well, when my rook can start invading his count. Text. As legend may say, here comes the rook. But okay, let's start another way. Okay, now as I mentioned earlier, my idea is very understandable, right? I bring rook to f-file, invading the file, rook f1 may be a plan. Also now my knight can also join the attack too. I mean, what should play here? Trying to defend against f1, for instance, and trying to get pieces out. Somehow I guess that he doesn't understand enough the danger of putting the pieces in the corner, you know? I don't know, but that may be a thing here. I think you can see as well that in the game I am trying to follow some very, I think, clear principles, right? Developing everything, trying to be careful of what your opponent want to do, and be fully ready for the attack. Understand me? Okay. This one actually is not a bad move at all, which I think go for, I think, a trip. I mean, that definitely helps me, but at the very least, he activates his pieces, you know? I guess it's not too poor in my opinion, although I don't think it's so strong as well. We just take here, I guess so? I don't see why not. He won for the trick himself, you know, so let's go for the tricks. Knight g5. Obviously. Knight g5. I will be very surprised if I didn't play it. So now you need to stop for a little while and see in the game what does white threaten, right? I think you can see easily here that this is the main threat, isn't it? So running knight like knight e7 seems fair. If you take a deep look at this, you will know that this is also another threat, isn't it? So that's why I play knight d4. Knight d4. One thing I should know for everybody, or I should note for everybody, is that trying to understand what does your opponent want to do is a very important skill. It's like the skill that you need to learn at every level, you know. It helps you to avoid blunders, avoid making mistakes, avoid hacking material, and moreover, it allows you to know and understand the game deeply. Understand me? That's the thing, and that is why that is a very important thing to learn, to be honest. C3. So once again, I am in a situation where I can play various stuff. I will just invade first, grab 2. Take the queen. And so now this idea is not working anymore. It's not really forcing, you know. But the thing is that my knight also don't have any square to run. See that? It's uncovered. That's why I need to do something else, you know. You can also play queen e7 too. Threaten to take the knight here. But instead I want to invade, which is the plan that I have thought about for so long. You understand me? That's the way. Queen g3 I think is like the only move here. This is also fine as well. I don't like this. For me, so now he allowed me to treat. And let's go for it. In fact, so you can surely play something else. But in chess, I think the hardest thing is like you need to combine both methods together. You want to go for the attack, right? But then in the meantime, your opponent trying to defend, and his defense including some kind of threats. And if that happens, you also may go for the threat as well, when it is also winning complete for you, right? Do not like just stubbornly go for the mid when it may be harder for you to convert. You understand? So now I play knight e2. Trade the knight here and also sets up a trap. Now I am fully up in the change. And 2 pawns. This pawn can be given back, you know. The plan is simple. My rook now are very well placed. In second rank, obviously he just commits suicide. But I guess that somehow it's not easy here to suggest anything to defend for him. Let's go. Well, okay, so this actually is a very interesting game. Something that is even I think, instructive for me as well. I also made a mistake in the game. That's why I think I can also learn something. Let's go to the game again. And thank you, Nimrod Bautista, for the game. Okay, so let's go here. In the game here, so we have a line with the Ruy Lopez, right? Ruy Lopez. I don't know if there are so many people here playing this, but definitely Ruy Lopez is actually a nice variation when you can try to, what I can say, obtain a very common line nowadays. Here, I have 2 main options, this and this, right? Bishop here is called the exchange variation of Ruy Lopez. Take the D pawn, castles. Now you can play here, 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 even here, no? Many moves. Once again, it just depends on your stats, on the tits. For me here, I think Queen f6 is now considered the simplest way to equalize. And for people who may want to go for fun, may want to go for complexities, you can surely play like here and this famous line, right? When plenty of funds can be seen in this sacrifice when take here, and play here for instance, right? When h4 is mid, when f3 you play g3 and mid follows up on h1. So this one is also known to be a very fun line when I think this actually is called Alpine Gambit. Alpine Gambit in Ruy Lopez. In a game here, I play bishop e4, which is the main line. So I play knight f6, knight f6. The main idea here obviously is castles, right? So now I can play once again various stuff, which I mean with different ideas. b5 is okay, like the Gauss variation. I think like it's like the pet line of Fabiano Caruana. I can play bishop e7 as well, which I think is pet line by Ding Liren. And there's also the normal Ruy Lopez. Knight e4 is fine too. And d4, b5 here. We got an open Sicilian, right? And it's also playable too. I think this was played, I think, a few days ago. I think I just saw Firuja and Nordebek play this. I think they went for a super famous sacrifice. I'm pretty sure, like here, this, and I have two. This one. I think it is called a dual-worth variation. Well, b5, bishop b7, g5, it is not a thing. Obviously, here if you play this one, like here, right? You can just castles, and the pawn is covered, right? The knight g5 idea, I think it is the kind of I forgot the name, but I think if you want to say this one, right? It's only good when bishop is on f8. If it's not, so the fry lever doesn't seem to work for sure. That's why normally knight g5 here is not a thing. In the game, play knight here, so I'm already ready to play the open Ruy Lopez. But then somehow he played the c3, which is actually, I mean, another normal line. Here, so in fact, I think you can play here too as well. So actually, if I here, for instance, here, right? And knight e5 basically run into this move. When you win the pawn with ease. You know what I mean? That's why here, so this is available, but I went for the main line, b5. Should be 3, c5. So, people may wonder what happened if I take here, right? But you can just take this, and d4, and the way to play is this, and d6. And after that, c5, c4 can be a plan, and black normally obtain a very playable game. When the bishop on b3 may even get stuck in this diagonal. That's why here in the game he played castles. Okay, this is a normal line. d6. Here's one. So there are two things I can try to explain here. First of all, obviously people may wonder why later on in the game I also play king h8, right? But I said this one now is not a good move. First of all, I play king h8 with the idea of f5, but with king h1 now f4 is still impossible, right? And second, I think like h3 or d3 can be a normal thing. Also, knight d5 is a main line as well, which I mean leads to a complicated battle. Like here, for instance, knight d5 here, I think it's the main line. So here, I think you can play this move here, c3, this, and this, which I think is okay. But this is the main variation in the game. So he played king h1 here, which is a slight inaccuracy. When it looks, I mean, not so needed, right? In the opening, so there is one famous principle that you don't really want to play some kind of unnecessary moves. And for me, h1 is that type of move in the game. So h1, g4, h3, h5. knight e2. This one, in fact, in the game, you think that, I mean, you can hear in the game, I kind of criticize it, right? But now I must say that actually this is a tricky move, which is very nice. Like I mean, I should have played here, you know, and queen d7, start attacking his pawn structures here, and I think give me a very reasonable game. Here, for instance, I'll play castles or maybe d5 as well. This is good for me. But in the game, so it sets up a trap, which me, a GM, obviously I think I get a bit, you know, careless, but still, whatever it is, that is still a mistake by me myself. Knight e4, which I would say that it is not that bad, but it should be given a question mark. It seems to be a free pawn, right? But the sad thing is that it allows should d5. Should d5. And now I must say that I see the way to get out of the trap. See the way to get out of the danger, you know? In the game, in fact, I won't see it. Like, if it happened in the game, I will get totally shocked. I was stunned and play like knight 2, you know? And here, and I am just down down a full piece, right? But now I see the way to defend is queen d7. Queen d7. Bishop e4 and d5. And the bishop is trapped in the center. This trap in the middle of the board, guys, which is very, very strange, right? Bishop d3, just play e4. And black is better already. But here, I guess it should get to something very complex, like I think knight g3, d4, knight h5, and castles, which get the game into a very, I think, complicated battle. But that's not over yet for sure. I think it's still gonna be fun. But yeah, I mean, I play here, which I will give that a question mark. It is not a losing blunder, so obviously it is not a blunder. But I mean, although it is still fine, but the main problem is that it forces me to find a very precise move in the next one, and that's why it is like I walk into some kind of unnecessary complications. So that's why I don't like this move by me myself. In the game, he missed something here. d3 is terrible, right? We all know it. And now, miss a chance. Knight 2, and we up a change here, right? And 2 pawns too as well. Should d5 now hardly works. That's why now I need to do something else. g5 in the game. Castles. g4. This. And I don't know. I feel like he's in big trouble now. Bit of 1. h4. I can play here, guys. But I suddenly see some h4 thing, you know. When I can feel some pressure. I think here I must play very precisely. I think knight e5. I think so. I must kill the bishop here right away. But my bishop is trapped, right? That's why this line is not that simple to play. And that's why I reject it. So in the game, I play bishop h4. Get the knight away from its active square and preventing own kind of pressure from white. You understand me? In the game, so knight a4, I play bishop e7, king h8 here. So now this one for me is not the only way to play. I can play d5 as well too probably, but I think f5 can be a great way to go for the assault. And the bishop pin my king here. Time to run away and ready for the pawn push. We are analyzing the Ruy Lopez variation. A relatively rarer variation, a rarer lies that was played by white in the game, but in fact a very instructive game, even for me, at some point. Okay, I shot here in the game, should d5, queen d7, cover the knight. I can play here instantly, which is good, you know. Like, it really shows that my plan is okay. But I want to defend the knight first and be ready for this one. Marshall is okay, but it may be so damn complicated, so I don't know if this can be a good way voting for the stream. Also in the game, so in the Marshall variation, right? Things like it's like castles, should be 7 here, right? Rook e1, castles, this, and this. Which is another story. In the game, he played knight c3, and that prevents me from carrying out that. Back to the game. In the game, so I play queen 7 here, I play knight g1, which I think is a bad move. Knight g3 must be played as well. I think trying to cover the f5 square, right? And that makes my plan not easy to be executed. Even when you are worse, just always remember to think about what does your opponent want, you know? It only can help you to win a game, also it can help you to defend against your opponent's threats, which I think will be a very good way to do it. In the game, here, f5, and pieces now join in the attack, right? You can see here, g5. So I think the best way is bishop e3 here. When I do plan to play knight e7, bishop b3, and I will play like d5, I think so. Or I may play bishop h5, and I will just get all my pieces into the attack. In the game, he played bishop g5, which I think is reasonable. So here, my plan changed a little bit. I want to go for the attack, you know, right? But then my opponent went for the trades. I was like, okay, trade is good. I'm winning, and as I mentioned during the process, when you want to convert, you can try into 3 pieces, or you can try to go for the attack, right? But if the opponent gives you any kind of trades, that is appreciated. Do it. Knight d4. Knight e7 is still okay, but it will make the game somewhat more complicated as you will lose an exchange. That's why I play here first, running the knight away and cover square on a6, isn't it? In the game, so c3, good move. Grab 2. If I don't do this, my knight on d4 can even be hanging. I can play here, you know, but then I can play like h4, and then I need to play here again, which is not simple. That's why I play f2 right away, which for me I think is the simplest. If you play queen g3, I play knight e2, you know? Like, I can be able to go for some more trades as well. In the game, queen g4, queen trades is obviously appreciated, so take here, knight e2. This is now the threat, right? So here, take here, knight here, and f2. I guess the best way for him is to knight c7 here, and I can play bishop to d3, and e4, and here, right? For instance, that's the thing I'm going to show you. This, and we got a very typical mating pattern. In the game, he committed suicide instantly, but obviously, it's not easy for him to make any good improvements. Okay, so now time for me to answer you guys' questions and trying to see some feedbacks here. First of all, after c3 hit your knight, was this playable? You mean here, right? Or here? This one? Or, I mean, this is playable. But obviously, he can play bishop e4, I don't know. And you play here as well, when you are still okay. And I can run back home as well. But I guess that, I mean, like, you know, my plan at the beginning is already to invade in the f file, you know. Not so f2, not only I think it just, I think, goes together with my plan, but the most important thing is that it makes my plan, I think, straightforward, and you guys can understand easier, right? This one is also a nice try, but I guess I can make things somewhat easier. Well, I mean, earlier, so I think you mentioned this one, right? Here, so I think you mentioned this. Here it is, right? Queen d4 is a nice idea, but not in this situation, since you got knight d3, which may ruin your plan. Queen d4 is actually an idea, but sadly not in this type of situation. That's why bishop f2 is gonna be much more devastating. See, for instance, right? Here, and bishop f2. And now you regain a pawn, and his king lose the right castles. I will watch the match against Magnus. Nothing related to this match, especially now Magnus not even here. But I will try my best to upload this thing to YouTube so that you can follow it easier. For the game, it is how the game finished. 90% for me, in fact, not that instructive. I think I also made a slight mistake too. Like knight e4 for me is not what I am very proud of. This is what I'm very proud of. Although it is fine with the engine, but it can get the game into a very complex situation. And you can see here, for instance, right? This is much better. That's why I am not fully happy with my play in the game. But still, I guess that I trying to go for some very simple way, and you guys can understand things easier, right? And that will be the most important thing for this speedrun video. Okay, so I see no questions here. I guess that is on for the video. Hope you guys enjoy the videos, and please feel free to give me the feedback. I will upload this video to YouTube very soon. And we'll see you later. Peace.